Today, the 22nd April 2023 is celebrated Earth Day internationally. The Earth Day is celebrated internationally each year on this day since 1970. The first Earth Day was celebrated when a United States Senator Gaylord Nelson from Wisconsin State organized demonstrations and rallies across the country to raise awareness about environmental issues. And this is the front page of the New York Times, published very next day, that is 23rd April 1970, and the headlines was "Millions Joins Earth Day Observance Across the Nation." At about the same time, when Nelson was having his brainstorm about an environmental teaching, a peace activist, John McClellan, was coming up with a similar notion but on a global scale. While attending the UNESCO Conference on the Environment in San Francisco in 1967, McConnell proposed a day to honor the earth and the concept of peace to first to be observed on 21st March 1970, the first day of spring in the Northern Hemisphere. This Day of Nature's Equipoise was later sanctioned in a proclamation written by the McConnell and signed by the Secretary General at the United Nations. A month later, Nelson proposed the idea to hold a nationwide environmental teaching on 22nd April 1970. So there was two dates we got here, that is one proposed by the McConnell, that is 21st March, and by the Nelson is 22nd April. Nelson hired a young activist, Dennis, and Nelson and Dennis renamed the event Earth Day. So this is actually the history of Earth Day. So sometimes in some documents it is found that McConnell was the main man behind this concept on global scale. The main objective of celebration is to promote activities to protect the earth and its resource. Throughout the celebration, many people and countries take different measures to protect the resource of the earth and works towards a sustainable way of life. The day reminds people worldwide of their shared responsibility as environmental stewards and their common needs to preserve Earth's natural resource, as in our entire solar system, Earth is the only planet that has the right amenities, that is air, water, to support life on it. Today, more than 1 billion people in 192 countries of the world are celebrating Earth Day. So in this presentation or in this class, everything I show you here is taken from the various sources that is given on the last slides. So more ways to invest our planet. We can plant more trees. We can reduce plastic consumption. We can go for wetland conservation, sustainable flowers. So many ways to do it. So it is seen that since beginning of the 20th century, the world's forests have lost about 20% of their coverage. And according to United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, about 7.3 million hectares of the forest are lost every year, and roughly half of Earth's tropical forests have already been cleared. Planting billions of trees across the world is one of the biggest and cheapest way of taking carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere to tackle the climate crisis. Not only do forests act as carbon sink, but they also provide vital habitat for animals and ecological service for humans, such as purifying the air we breathe and regulating local temperatures. Responsible reforestation program can stabilize land from erosion and natural disaster, improve soil health and groundwater recharge, promote native and endemic fauna, and provide economic development for nearby communities. Reforestation is one of the most important and accessible ways that people can contribute to solving the challenges of climate change. So, one thing that I can say, that after plantation or reforestation, you have to take care of the forest of the plant each and every day, because other than that the survival rate is very poor, and you have to plant a tree on the same plots year after year. End of plastic pollution. Plastic pollution is one of the most important environmental problem that we have faced today. It impacts the environment and our health and well-being. We have all contributed to this problem mostly unknowingly, and we must work to reduce and ultimately to end of plastic. But unless you can't measure how much plastic item you consume or discarded, you can't manage. So in artsday.org website, I found this chart or calculator, which I can show you very closely. That there is two charts. One is items you consume per day. So there is some of the items, that is plastic bottles, cups, straws, cigarette butts, plastic clingware, plastic silverware, everything. So you just put how many quantity you use per day. I have put some of the numbers, that is if you put 3 plastic bottles per day, then it's calculated the yearly just by multiplying 365, and then there is an option, that is our yearly personal reduction, কতটা আপনি নেক্সট ইয়ারে রিডাকশন করবেন। সো আমি 50টা 500 রিডাকশন করব, তাহলে এখানে দেখা যায় 695 আপনি নেক্সট ইয়ারে কনজিউম করবেন বলছেন। and if you put plastic cups used per day 2, and yearly that it becomes 730, and if you commit that yearly personal reduction is 50, then that means you use 270. So likewise you will got that the future year consumption is future yearly consumption will be the 825, considering this only two categories. So here is 695 and here will be the 230. That's why the future consumption will be 85. Similarly, there is a second chart, that is items consumed occasionally, that is monthly use, that food packaging, toothbrush, toothpaste, medicinal bottles, like things, and you have to put number in months, that is multiplied by 12, is automatically calculated in a year how much you consume, and then accordingly the yearly reduction. Accordingly you find the future yearly consumption, and likewise you will find the total current yearly consumption, total personal reduction, and your future yearly consumption. That's why by making this chart you can estimate the how can you use our plastics in our everyday, and how will you manage to reduce the end of plastics. So changing starts with action. Better yet, an action that affects the world around you. 1 billion acts of green are happening across the planet, from students in classroom to organizers in the communities or to officials in government. There are ways for everyone of any background to make a difference. Start small or go big, or start big and stay big. Either way, keep coming back, keep taking action, and join the movement to change the world. তো মোস্ট পপুলার অ্যাক্টস যেগুলো আমরা করতে পারি সচরাচর খুব সহজে করা যায়, যেমন প্ল্যান্টেশন or prevent encroachment of wetlands or water bodies, restore and conserve water bodies, clean up drives, advocate for climate action at our institutions, the place to support climate and environmental literacy, and to make your meal on plant-based and fight fast fashion. So I just going to describe some of this item. Plantation we have already discussed. Now we in our various videos I made on the conserve of wetlands, so then the significance of wetlands. And the wetlands are the most productive ecosystem and are the essential part of human life, meeting many crucial needs on earth such as drinking water, food, fodder, fiber, water purification, energy, biodiversity, water storage, aquifer recharge, flood mitigation, erosion control, transport, recreation, research, education, carbon sinks, climate stabilizer. So wetland enhance aesthetic value of landscape also and support many significant recreational, social and cultural activity, being part of our rich cultural heritage and human well-being. So wetlands has this many of significance. So by restoring or by preventing encroachment, you can help our planet to go better. And plant-based meal is food production and consumption are rapidly deteriorating the planet. Animal agriculture means it involve animals hostages simply so human can eat their meat or their secretions such as milk and eggs. Animals are dominated, subject to various torture that force their bodies to produce maximum amount of product. It is maybe egg or gallons of milk, muscles or flesh for our own consumption. So animal agriculture is one of the largest contributor to greenhouse emission and is pushing the planet to the breaking point of the climate change and deforestation. So I have given the link of the sites from where you found this article. And shifting to plant-based diet and avoiding animal products relieves our earth of a burden of animal agriculture, a huge contribution to ecological destruction. For example, a plant-based burger generates 90% less greenhouse gas and has 90% less water impact, has 99% less water impact and 93% less impact on land use. So what we eat is important for our health also and for the planet's health also. So for your next meal, you make a climate conscious choice. And fashion for the earth, it's a concept of sustainable fashion. Fast fashion has completely revolutionized the apparel industry. But not for the better. Behind every piece of clothing in a store, there is an industry stripping the earth of its limited resource and exploiting the labor force that works in its garment factories. Tremendous waste characterizes this industry as it depletes healthy soil, contaminates fresh water source, pollute the air we breathe, defiles our oceans, destroy forest and damage ecosystem and the health of the biodiversity. So in case going to fast fashion, you come to the sustainable fashion. Sustainable fashion refers to clothing supply chain that is ecologically and socially responsible. It aims to reorient the industry and consumers away from the fast fashion model and towards the sustainable practice in sourcing, production, distribution, marketing, and consumption. So, for further reading, you can access the www.artday.org, our toolkit that you find PPT there, and also the humanelegu.org article Animal Agriculture, and UNESCO sites and National Geographic sites for information of history and other of the art day. Thank you for watching.